Sometime last week, Nintendo almost sent millions of their diehard fanbase into cardiac shock when they finally officially announced the upcoming announcement of the next Nintendo console coming later this year. It was a beautiful yet dangerous way to be a Nintendo fan. And let me tell you, for the past few years, the next Nintendo or Switch 2 rumors have just been getting completely out of hand, and the amount of times that we see them just getting speculated on. For good reason though, the last Nintendo console dropped in 2017, which was like 2 decades ago in modern internet time, and the handheld really showed its age, at least to me, when I tried to play a recently released game on it like Scarlet and Violet. I don't even emulate for free games anymore just to get a good goddamn draw distance. But as you could imagine, in this past week and a half, the supposed leaks and rumors got turned up to turbo gamer mode, and the community has just a bunch of new ideas for the next Nintendo console that they're really believing in, which piqued my interest because I cannot escape this shit on my timeline. So I thought I might as well, tell you all my opinions on it. Of course, nothing is confirmed, and everything that I talk about should be taken with a grain of salt, but keep in mind, we also live in an age where Grand Theft Auto 6 was hacked from an Amazon Fire Stick in a hotel room. Some people are just different. So since we are in the final days of speculating before we get an actual reveal, let's take a look at these supposed Nintendo Switch 2 leaks and see what we likely have to look forward to. So the more recent leak that we have for the next Nintendo console comes in the form of its code name. Code names are the special and mostly, short names that developers gave the console that they work on, usually as a name that defines the main characteristic that the creators use to describe the console. Like the Wii was called the Revolution, the Sega Genesis was called Mark V, the Atari 5200 was Pam. Just Pam. Anyway, you get the point. These are just dope little names that every console has in its inner circle of developers and creators. And you see, over on the 𝘊𝐿 forum website, Nintendo fans have been recently toying with what they think the next code name will be for the upcoming Nintendo console. And it's based on the supposed code that was found in the development kit for the hardware, nicknamed Muji. Now, besides that name sounding like it's in the same family tree of my name, Ajani, some overseas viewers outside of America might recognize the Muji name as a Japanese retail company that sells a variety of things like, clothing, food, and all that kind of stuff. However, what people mostly know the Muji store for is being a brandless shop, since they don't use any logos or branding on their things like, their clothing, trying to be as transparent as possible. So this has led players to believe that the next Nintendo console isn't gonna have this, big design change and be more of an improved version of the current Nintendo Switch. And honestly, that doesn't sound like something far off from what Nintendo could be planning. I mean, the Switch is such a banger console because it taps not only into the console market, but also the currently rising handheld one as well. So if they could make a better version of what we already have, then I don't see why this can't be another dope console release. Again, no confirmation on whether this is true or not, but I damn sure hope it is, because that sounds cool. So that's only one of the leaks that everyone is talking about right now. The other leak that we have is the one that's speculating on the spec leaks for Nintendo's next generation. Now, I gotta say, this isn't my first rodeo with spec leaks for whatever this thing is gonna turn out to be. Back when Microsoft was beefing with the federal government, I'm sure some of you might remember those, leaked emails from Activision's boss about how the Switch 2 is gonna have PS4 level graphics, just spilling all of the beans. But we have another hardware information leak. This time, not with what we want to see, with it being the graphics, but instead some memory and storage reveals. And like before, on the 𝘊𝐿 website, people explain how shipment listings revealed the console having 12 gigs of RAM, specifically 2 units of 6 GB 2500 transfer per second of LPDDR5, and apparently storage of 256 GB. All pretty believable specs that point towards another handheld based console, since that's what LPDDR5 specializes in. And the current Switch only has 4 GB of RAM, so this increase in memory is definitely a good indicator of the next level of graphics, since even modern consoles now have 16 GB of memory. So hopefully all that RAM is going towards cooler games and not just letting you open 50 tabs of Chrome or some shit, you know, they might try to play us. As far as storage goes though, I'm hoping that we see more than the 256 gigabytes that they're speculating on. Now obviously, you know, most Switch games right now are usually sub 10 gigabytes, but you gotta count the updates and all that cute firmware stuff that they love to just give us every other month or so. And after 5 years of having this upcoming console, I'd feel more comfortable with more like 512 gigs of storage at least, you know, instead of having to go out my way to upgrade it every once in a while, but that's just me though. Overall, all this Switch 2 gossip in the Nintendo streets are pretty solid in my opinion and not that far out the realm of reality. Hopefully the reveal comes sooner than later and, you know, we can verify everything that people are saying once and for all, but we'll just have to wait and see with the future host for Nintendo after the reveal. So what do you guys think about Nintendo and this console speculation right now, man? Feel free to comment down below. Like on the video, subscribe if you're not already. I'll see you on the next one. Ooh, wow.